Welcome to A Course in Business Miracles. This is Heather Dominic, creator of BusinessMiracles.com and founder and leader of the highly sensitive entrepreneur movement. Join me today for some genuine practical assistance and a business-altering and life-changing experience, a business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode number 78. HSE feature with Chief Creative Financial Officer and Spiritual Channeler, Inga Thengilsdottir. Welcome to the Business Miracles HSE feature episode. I am just so excited to be featuring Inga Thengilsdottir as a member of the Business Miracles community and as a successful, highly sensitive entrepreneur. Inga, as she so generously allows me to call her, aside from being a valued member of the Business Miracles community, is Chief Creative Financial Officer and an international spiritual speaker and mentor in spiritual growth and spiritual channeling. She lives in Reykjavik, Iceland, where she shares her abilities between her work as a Chief Creative Financial Officer and owner of a joint business with her husband, Jan Janusson, and her own business, The Miracle Messenger, where she supports highly sensitive people in transforming their lives. She is an expert in showing people the way through their personal blocks into manifesting a life of joy and fulfillment. You will want to listen in as I talk with Inga about how she went from not even knowing what the word entrepreneur meant to earning $1 million in just 1 year. It is such an honor to be a part of Inga's HSE journey, and I am so pleased to be sharing this episode with you today. Inga, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
I am so happy to be talking to you in this way today.
Yeah, I'm so excited. This is like my first time, so it's so exciting.
Yeah, it really is. And I would love for you to start us off if you could just say your full Icelandic name, because you're always so generous in allowing myself and other Business Miracles members to call you Inga, but that is not your full name. So please share with us your full name.
My full name in Icelandic is Ingibjörg Ragna Thengilsdottir.
Oh my gosh, so beautiful.
I'm the only one in Iceland that has that name.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
And I love that you can say that.
Yeah, me too. That's why I say it.
Yes, you absolutely should. So let's start off just by, letting listeners know that you are in the Business Miracles Eminence Mentoring Program, and you and I have been mentoring together for 5.5 years now. And so I would love for you to just share a little bit more about how you and I first connected, and as part of that, how you discovered that you were a highly sensitive entrepreneur.
Yeah, it was in 2014. I received an email where a friend of yours was introducing a 21-day series that you were having. And this because your business, Heather, is called A Course in Business Miracles. I just connected so deeply with the miracle part. But I felt, okay, I'm going to sign up for this series. And that's what I did. So yes. On the 11th of March 2014, I sat in my living room listening to you, telling me and everyone else that was listening the story of what happened in your life when your mother passed when you were a teenager. And I actually still start to cry a little bit when I remember that, because it touched me so deeply. And just when I heard your voice, I just oh, I'm going to get to know this lady no matter what.
Mm. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. And that was such a powerful series. I loved delivering that series. It was really just this powerful point for myself and my own journey, but, for many others. And I'm so, so touched to hear that it was for you at that time too. And I'm so glad that we connected in that way and that we connected at that time and that we are still connected and all the ways that we've had to really grow since then. So I'd actually love for you to share, since that time, what difference has, our connection and mentoring made for you? And also as part of that, a big part of that, what difference has it made for you to understand and know that you are a highly sensitive entrepreneur?
Well, it has changed me on every level in my life. It really doesn't matter what I'm doing, where I'm going, what's happening. I use the teachings all the time. And to be a highly sensitive entrepreneur, I of course didn't even know what entrepreneur meant. I didn't even know the meaning of the word when I started to work with you, and even the connection to me and what I'm doing. And it was such a huge relief when I started to be really connecting with the teachings, to be able to use the energy management tools to support me on my travels, to go and, to see you and be part of the, the hive and the group that we have in Business Miracles. And if we just take the travel bit, that's just like, oh my God, I traveled alone from Iceland to Phoenix in Arizona to be at a 2-day bonus weekend with you. But I would say the only reason that I was capable of making that travel happen was that I had the tools that you have given to me. And it took me days and days to prepare, just like emotionally. And I did it. I went, and everything was just like a one big, huge miracle from the beginning to the end. And actually I could take that story into every aspect of my life. So much has changed.
Oh my gosh, there's so much that's really powerful that you just shared that I would love to highlight. So first, I just really appreciate that you just shared that when you and I first connected and you heard the phrase highly sensitive entrepreneur, that for yourself, you didn't really connect to the meaning of entrepreneur. And I really, really appreciate that, because I hear a lot, that when, Business Miracles members first connect with myself and my teachings, that maybe they hadn't yet fully identified themselves as highly sensitive, but I haven't heard from anybody in regards to entrepreneur. And I really, really, again, appreciate that. And it makes sense because one is the acknowledgement, right, that English is not your first language. So this really speaks to the additional lengths, that you go to engage in the teachings, and same for our other Business Miracles International members. And so, I want to really acknowledge that. And then also just, what it means to be an entrepreneur, to be someone who's self-employed. That is a step, right, of really claiming that for oneself. So that's really powerful. Yeah, that's exactly why I wanted to highlight it, because I'm sure you're not the only one, right? There's so many of us HSEs who are gifted, at the work that we do in whatever capacity it provides in regards to healing support or other service to our clients. But the important step of really claiming, wait a minute, this is a business that I am in. I can be service oriented and also really, really own what it means to own and operate a business.
Yeah, it was a huge thing. I know what it is.
Yes. Yeah, boy, do you ever. Absolutely. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. But I also want to highlight that you spoke about the travel and the first time that you had traveled from Iceland and to, as you said, a 2-day bonus retreat that I was offering that I hosted in Phoenix, Arizona at the time. And to really, acknowledge that was a big deal. One, it's a great amount of travel. And two, that's something that, can really inhibit a lot of highly sensitives. We talk about that a lot in the Business Miracles community, how to really be able to set ourselves up to travel successfully, to travel in a way where we don't, have to be negatively impact in regards to our highly sensitive nervous system, but we can set it up so that it is a successful and, as you said, even miraculous experience. But also to just really highlight, again, international travel, going to a different country, having to go through customs, and there's again, so many Business Miracles international members who do this, and the difference in size between the size of Iceland as a country, where you are literally the only person with your name, to the massive United States. So I just really appreciate you speaking to that, because I think it's a beautiful highlight and demonstration of the power and empowerment that does come out of the teachings, that what you once thought that you couldn't do as a highly sensitive, suddenly you are doing, and you are doing it with grace. So, thank you so much for speaking to that. So let's speak a little bit more to the entrepreneurial part and how far you have come from 5.5 years ago, not really knowing what that word was or if it really applied to you, to where you are now. And I'd like to talk about your role in your joint business with your husband, Jan, who's such a wonderful man, and I've had the opportunity to really get to know over the years, and the work that you do together. To speak about that joint business first, because especially over this past year, we've really been focusing so much on you stepping more and more into the leadership of your co-ownership of that joint business. So I'd love for you to talk about, the impact that the tools and your growth has had specifically on the financials of that joint business.
Yeah, I would say that for me to step in and take charge, like at the beginning of the year 2018, because it was quite clear that the employee we had that was supposed to be doing that job wasn't doing it. And that on its, by itself was just like a huge step for me to step in and just like hand out to her a letter that, telling her she had to leave our business. And of course that was really difficult, but I did a lot of work around that. And from there to just like take her seat and sit down and realize that I had to redo most of her work from the last 3 years. And then on top of that, being a supportive person for my husband in the business, and together we had our biggest year in 2018, which actually I just like, I thought when I realized that was happening, I was just like, what? And we going through all this shit? Sorry, but I mean, it was just like, what's going on? And it was just that for the first time in my life, I just like I acted as the financial partner of the business. I was in charge of that. And I just like put everything in order. I found a new employee that is now so valuable and so supportive and doing the job exactly as I wanted it to be done. And last year we had, for the first time, we had over 110 million Icelandic krona brutto in our business. And that was like, for the first time, we went over that 100 million mark, which is really like $1 million. And
so
it's
so
like,
great.
Yeah. And it's just like when we realized that at the end of December last year that this was happening, we were just like sitting, looking at each other and saying, like, oh, wow, is it really? And I actually checked, I think 3 or 4 times. So
yes.
And this year has actually been really, I've been checking every 3 months, and it's 5% increase every month this year. So we are not only holding our ground for last year, but we are adding on this year. And in spite of big airline crashed, went into bankruptcy, 1,000 people was laid off, and we have had more companies going in the tourist business since then. And a lot of our customers are in that line of business.
Yes.
So, I mean, and we even hired one more employee this year. I mean, so it seems to be like, we just like sit there and look at it sometimes and we hardly believe it ourselves. But that's
fantastic. I mean, really, yes, it's such, again, a beautiful demonstration of the work that you have done, because these really are business miracles that we're speaking about. And so there's some additional pieces in terms of what I know and the work that you've done that I would really like to highlight about this. You know, one is to highlight that your role in the joint business is the financials. And I see that this is so valuable because, you know, you are not only a spiritual person, but you are a spiritual channeler and leader.
Yes.
And the ability that you have to also really be able to, you know, manage the numbers in support of the financials isn't something that you had really claimed for yourself before we started mentoring together. You did the work and you always did it well, but this element that you chose of claiming in 2018, as you spoke about, really, I see, had a direct impact and contribution to what the joint business was able to create. And the way that you have also really focused on bringing the spiritual aspect of who you are into this joint business has contributed to these miracles where in a small country, when other businesses are impacted, there can often be a domino effect.
Yeah, well, I have to say you're absolutely right, Heather. And I actually
it's true.
It's true. I so love what I do now, and it's just what I have done over the last 2 years in the joint business is now supporting me in being able to take a little bit more time for the spiritual side of me. And I so appreciate that, because I mean, the joint business is our lifeline, and it is the main source of income for our life. And to be able to have really just to go back in there, I had almost already, left that business. I hadn't been a part of it for like almost 3 years, and to come back, and I mean, it was also like a humbling experience, if you know what I mean. It's just like, why do I have to go back? Do I really have to do this, or can't somebody else? And then just like realizing that that's just like the scullery maid or the entitled queen speaking. It was just like me, like a regal queen, stepping into the business wasn't always easy, and it took a lot of work to stay in that element. And with the support of the teachings, and of course with the support I have in the Eminence Hive, the group, and with you, to have personal calls with you every month, being able to lay everything on the table that is needed to be taken care of and follow. I mean, you've seen me. I just like follow my steps. So even throughout what day, I have steps. And
that's right.
I mean, correcting bookings for 3 years in 8 months.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
That was a lot of work.
Yes. Yes. And you have done it so gracefully, and from that regal queen position, as you've spoken about. So, just all so incredibly powerful. And as we get ready to wrap for today, I'm sure there's other highly sensitives who are listening and perhaps are thinking, well, that's great that Inga could do that, but I just don't see how that could occur for me. So I would love for you to share just any advice that you have for other HSEs and what you have to share that will support them in being able to step into whatever their regal queen position is meant to look like and be for them.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. And let's just be very clear. The regal queen lives in the heart. It's the center, it's the core. And that's what you have taught me, Heather. It's just like even I'm in an airplane, let's just like continue with that, because we started to talk about travel. I'm in an airplane and the airplane starts to move in a way we don't always like. And I just I put my left hand on my heart, and then I remember, the regal queen lives in the heart, and the regal queen is going to be absolutely fine throughout this bumpy ride. It's not going to be anything hurtful. It's going to be easy, and this is where the teachings have brought me. Of course, this has taken a lot of practice. It did not happen in one day.
Right.
It means that I have done the work. I've done the energy management. I've been vulnerable. I've been like in the shit, and I've been in the clouds and everywhere in between. But coming to this place of my heart, that is the real thing. That's where the peace is. That's where the fulfillment is. That's where you are told the truth. The truth is not in your head.
Right. right. And that is such a skill for us to be able to master as HSEs and to be able to operate our businesses confidently from that place, and also to be able to design our life from that place, which is the ultimate experience for who we are as highly sensitive entrepreneurs. So, Inga, where can listeners find out more about you and the incredible success that you are creating and the work that you are bringing to the world as a highly sensitive entrepreneur?
So my business is called The Miracle Messenger, and I have a website, that is themiraclemessenger.com, and of course the 3 double V's in the front. And I'm also on Facebook as The Miracle Messenger.
Beautiful. themiraclemessenger.com. So make sure that you check out Inga and the work that she is doing. In addition to being a masterful, creative financial officer in her joint business, she is an extremely talented spiritual channeler. Inga, thank you so much for sharing so beautifully and in such a heartfelt way during our conversation today. I've so enjoyed this HSE feature with you.
Thank you. I so appreciate it, and it was actually a lot of fun.
Yay, wonderful. Yeah. We often discover that what we think perhaps might be challenging or difficult as an HSE, when you put the Business Miracles tools to work, is actually fun.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, beautiful. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of our conversation today. And until next time. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Course in Business Miracles. If you're ready to learn how to use your highly sensitive abilities to support you in being purposeful, profitable, and empowered rather than scattered, poor, and undervalued, take my free self-quiz to find out if you are indeed a highly sensitive entrepreneur. And if you are, along with your quiz results, you'll receive my free HSE Success Guide, which will teach you how to have your highly sensitive abilities working for you to create the results you desire in your business. Take the quiz and receive your free success guide now at www.hsequiz.com.